It was a busy day in the town. People were moving everywhere. Cars were honking, shops were open, and children were playing in the streets. The sun was shining bright, but there was something sad in the air near a big old building. This building was a wedding hall where many happy celebrations took place, but today it was quiet. Except for one person sitting alone inside, a little boy walked slowly on the sidewalk near the wedding hall. He was about 6 years old. His clothes were a bit dirty and his shoes looked worn out. He looked small and lost. His eyes were wide and his face showed confusion. The boy looked around, hoping to find someone familiar, but the streets were full of strangers. The boy's name was Sami. He had come to the town with his mother and father a few days ago. But somehow in the crowd and noise, Sami got separated from them. He tried to find them, but no one seemed to know where they were. Sami felt scared. The town was big, and everything was strange to him. As Sami walked, he saw people coming out of the wedding hall. They were dressed nicely and smiling. But inside, Sami noticed a woman sitting alone. She was wearing a white dress with lace and flowers. She looked like a bride, but her face was not happy. It was full of sadness. Her eyes looked tired and her hands were shaking a little. Sami felt curious and a little brave. He wanted to know why she was alone. He slowly walked closer and asked softly, "Are you my mom?" The woman looked at him in surprise. No one had called her mom before. She felt something warm inside her heart. For a moment, she did not know what to say. She looked into Sami's eyes and saw fear and hope. The woman's name was Amina. She had dreamed of this day for many years. She had planned to marry a kind man and start a new life. But just before the wedding, the man said he did not want to marry her. He left her alone in the wedding hall, and the guests left too. Amina was left with her dress and her broken heart. Now, when Sami asked her if she was his mom, she felt a strange feeling. She was not his mother, but she wanted to help him. Smiled gently and said, "No, I am not your mother, but I will help you." Sami's face brightened a little. He took her hand, and together they walked outside the wedding hall. The sun was warm on their faces, but their hearts were heavy with sadness and hope. Amina asked Sami, "What is your name, little one?" "Sami," he answered. "I lost my mother and father. I do not know where they are." Amina's eyes filled. With tears, she held Sami's hand tighter. "Do not worry, Sami. We will find your family together." Sami smiled. For the first time in days, he felt safe. People around saw Amina with the little boy. They whispered to each other, surprised that the rejected bride was now caring for a lost child. Some shook their heads, but many smiled with hope. Amina and Sami sat on a bench near the wedding hall. She gave him some water and a small snack she had in her bag. Sami ate slowly, looking at her with trust. Amina thought about her own pain. She was sad, but helping Sami made her feel stronger. She realized that life could bring unexpected moments. Sometimes from sadness, new hope can grow. She told Sami stories about happy days and promised him they would find his family soon. Sami listened carefully, feeling comforted by her voice. As the sun began to set, Amina and Sami stood up. They decided to ask people nearby if they knew where Sami's family was. Together, they walked through the streets, asking neighbors, shopkeepers, and strangers. Some people smiled and helped. Others did not know. But no one ignored the woman in the wedding dress and the little boy holding her hand. Amina felt tired, but she kept going. Sami held her hand tightly. Neither wanted to give up. At night, they found a small shelter where Sami could rest. Amina stayed with him. She wrapped a warm cloth around his shoulders and sat close to him. Sami looked up and asked quietly, "Will you stay with me, even if you are not my mom?" Amina smiled and said, "Yes, Sami, I will stay with you until we find your family." Night was calm, and for the first time in many days, Sami felt safe and cared for. Amina felt a little less alone. The next morning, they would begin their search again. But for now, in that quiet shelter, two lonely hearts found a little peace. The morning sun came softly through the small window of the shelter where Amina and Sami spent the night. The air was cool and fresh, and birds sang quietly outside. Sami woke up feeling a little stronger. He looked at Amina, who was still resting. Beside him, even though she wore the white wedding dress from the day before, now it looked less like a dress for a party and more like a cloak of comfort. Sami rubbed his eyes and sat up. Amina smiled warmly at him. "Good morning, Sami. Did you sleep well?" she asked gently. Sami nodded. "Yes, thank you. You helped me feel safe." Amina's heart felt warm. She reached into her small bag and took out a piece of bread and some fruit she had saved. "Here, eat this," she said softly. Sami took the food gratefully, and together they ate in silence for a few moments. After breakfast, they stood outside the shelter. The town was waking up, and people were starting their day. Amina looked around, thinking carefully. She knew their search for Sami's family might take time, but she was ready to do whatever it took. "We should ask more people today," she said. "Maybe someone knows where your parents are." Sami nodded and took her hand. They began walking slowly down the busy streets. Shops were opening, and the smells of fresh bread and spices filled the air. Amina noticed how different the town felt in the daylight. The sadness from yesterday seemed lighter now, replaced by hope. As they walked, Sami told Amina about his family. He spoke about his mother's soft voice and his father's kind smile. He told her about his little sister, whom he loved very much. Amina listened carefully. She could see how much Sami missed his family. "You have a strong heart," Sami Amina said kindly. "I believe we will find your family soon." Their first stop was the market square. Vendors were setting up their stalls, arranging fruits, vegetables, and colorful cloth. Amina approached an older man selling oranges. "Excuse me," she said politely. "Have you seen this boy's family? His name is Sami." The man looked closely at Sami and then shook his head. "I'm sorry, miss. I have not seen him before, but I will ask around." Amina thanked him and continued walking. They asked many people, shopkeepers, street cleaners, mothers with children. Some shook their heads, others smiled and wished them luck. While they searched, Amina's mind wandered to her own story. She thought about how she had dreamed of this wedding day for years. She remembered the moment the groom left her alone, the cold silence after the guests left, and the pain in her heart. But now, helping Sami gave her a new reason to smile. She realized that even in sadness, kindness could grow. After walking for a while, they came to a small park where children played. Sami's eyes lit up. "I want to play," he said shyly. Amina smiled. "Okay, but I will watch you." Sami ran to join the other children. They laughed and played games, and for a few moments, Sami forgot his worries. Amina sat on a bench nearby, watching him. Seeing his happiness made her feel stronger. After some time, Sami came back to her. "Thank you," he said quietly. "You're welcome," Amina replied. As the day passed, Amina and Sami continued their search. They met kind people who offered water and snacks. One woman gave Sami a small toy car. Another man offered Amina a warm smile and encouragement. The townspeople began to notice the unusual pair. A bride in a white dress, walking hand in hand with a little boy. Some were curious, others whispered stories. Some wondered why a woman in a wedding dress was alone. Amina did not care about their whispers. Her focus was on Sami. She wanted him to feel loved and safe. Later in the afternoon, they stopped near a quiet street. Amina spotted a small clinic. She thought it might help to ask their inside. A nurse listened carefully when Amina explained their situation. The nurse checked the clinic's records, but found nothing about Sami's family. "I wish I could help more," the nurse said kindly. "But I will tell the others here to keep an eye out." Amina thanked her and left the clinic. She felt a little tired but did not want to stop. Sami still needed her. As evening approached, they walked back toward the shelter where they had stayed. The sky turned soft shades of pink and orange. The town grew quiet again. Sami looked up at Amina and said, "I feel better when I am with you." Amina's eyes filled with tears. "And I feel better with you, Sami. You are very brave." That night, they sat close together in the shelter. Amina told Sami stories about hope and courage. She spoke about how sometimes when life feels dark, kindness and love can bring light. Sami listened, his eyes shining. He knew he was not alone anymore. Before they fell asleep, Sami whispered, "Thank you, Amina. You are my mom today." Amina smiled softly. "I am happy to be here for you." Though neither of them knew what tomorrow would bring, they found comfort in each other's company. The next morning, Amina woke up feeling a little stronger than the day before. She looked at Sami, who was still sleeping peacefully. Seeing the boy resting safely made her heart feel warm and calm, even though she was still wearing her wedding dress now. It felt less like a symbol of sadness and more like a reminder of the new journey she had begun. They shared a small breakfast, and then Amina and Sami prepared to continue their search. This time, Amina thought they should visit the places where Sami might have been before he got lost. She hoped this would give them better clues about where his family could be. First, they walked toward the busy market street. The shops were open, and people were beginning their day's work. Amina held Sami's hand tightly as they moved through the crowd. Sami looked curious, but also a little shy. He trusted Amina and felt safe with her. As they walked, Amina asked the shopkeepers if they had seen Sami's family. Some smiled warmly and wished them luck. Others said they hadn't seen them, but promised to keep an eye out. One kind woman, who sold flowers, stopped and gave Sami a small bunch of bright yellow daisies. Sami's face lit up with a big smile. "Thank you," he said softly. Amina was glad to see him happy. She realized how small acts of kindness could change a person's day. After the market, they went to a quiet neighborhood with small houses. Amina asked the neighbors if they had seen Sami's parents or his sister. Most people did not know, but a few stopped to talk with the little boy. Some gave him gentle smiles, and others knelt down to his level, asking questions softly. Amina noticed that Sami was becoming more confident. He even told a few people about his family, how he missed them and wanted to be with them again. While they walked, Amina thought about her own life. She remembered the pain of being left alone on her wedding day. But now, with Sami by her side, she felt hope grow inside her. Helping him gave her a new purpose. It made her believe that even after sadness, there could be happiness. Later, they reached a small park near the river. Children were playing and families were having picnics. Sami's eyes grew wide with excitement. He ran to join a group of kids playing tag. Amina watched from a bench nearby, smiling as Sami laughed and ran. Seeing him play made Amina feel joy she hadn't known in a long time. She thought about how important it was for children to feel safe and loved. After a while, Sami returned. To her side, tired but happy. "I wish I could play every day," he said. Amina nodded. "You deserve to be happy, Sami. We will find your family soon." The sun started to set. Amina and Sami continued their search. They asked people along the riverbank and near the bus station. Some strangers stopped to help, offering water or kind words. By evening, they had walked many miles. Amina could feel the weariness in her legs, but she did not stop. Sami was tired too, but his smile never faded. On their way back to the shelter, they met a man who worked at a nearby school. The man looked at Sami and asked, "Are you the little boy who got lost? We have been looking for you." Sami nodded quickly, feeling hope rise inside him. The man said, "Your family has been here. They are very worried. Come with me." Amina felt her heart beat faster. This could be the moment they had been waiting for. They followed the man to a small house near the edge of town. Sami's mother and father were there, waiting anxiously. When Sami saw them, he ran into their arms, tears of joy falling from his eyes. Amina watched quietly, feeling happy for Sami. But she also felt a soft sadness. She knew this was goodbye. Sami's mother looked at Amina with deep gratitude. "Thank you for taking care of my son. We were so worried." Amina smiled and said, "I was happy to help." "Sami is very brave." Sami hugged Amina tightly. "Thank you, Mom," he whispered. Amina smiled and whispered back, "Take care, Sami." After Sami was safely home, Amina walked back to the wedding hall. The sun was setting, painting the sky with beautiful colors. She thought about how her life had changed in just a few days. though her wedding had been canceled, and her heart had been broken. She had found something more important, a new purpose, and a chance to heal. Amina knew she would never forget Sami. He had taught her about hope, love, and kindness. As she walked, she smiled softly. Her future was uncertain, but she felt ready to face it with courage. After Sami was safely back with his family, Amina felt a strange mix of emotions. She was happy for Sami, knowing he was now with the people who loved him. But at the same time, she felt a quiet loneliness inside. The little boy had brought light into her life during some of its darkest moments, and now that he was gone, the silence around her seemed even louder. She walked slowly through the streets she had come to know so well in the past few days. The town that once felt unfamiliar now seemed full of memories, moments of hope, kindness, and unexpected friendship. People she had met smiled as they saw her, and some even greeted her warmly. It was clear that her kindness toward Sami had touched many hearts. Amina paused by the old wedding hall. The place where she had faced so much pain and rejection now held a different meaning. It was no longer just a symbol of a broken dream, but also the place where a lost boy and a rejected bride had found each other. For a moment, she allowed herself to feel grateful for that. She stood there. An elderly woman approached her. The woman's eyes were kind, and she carried a basket of fresh vegetables from the market. "You are the bride who helped the little boy, aren't you?" she asked gently. Amina nodded. "Yes, I was lucky to be there when he needed help." The woman smiled. "Your kindness has changed more than just one life. Many people have heard about you. You're an inspiration." Amina felt a warm glow inside. It was strange to think that what she did, simply helping a child, could have such an impact. That evening, Amina found a small place to stay nearby. She was determined to rebuild her life, though her heart still ached from the wedding. That never happened. She knew she had a new purpose. Helping Sami had opened her eyes to the power of kindness and hope. The next day, Amina visited Sami's family. They welcomed her with open arms, grateful for what she had done. Sami's mother invited her in for tea, and they talked about their lives. Amina learned about Sami's family, their struggles, and their dreams. She felt a deep connection with them. Sami, now back home, continued to call Amina Mom when she visited. Their bond was strong, and they shared laughter and stories. For Amina, these visits were healing. She realized that family was not only about blood, but also about love and care. With the support of the community, Amina began to find new opportunities. A local woman offered to help her start a small business selling handmade crafts. Amina had always enjoyed creating beautiful things, and this was her chance to turn her passion into a new beginning. As days turned into weeks, Amina worked hard. Her small shop grew popular, and she became known as a kind and hard-working woman. The sadness she once carried slowly faded, replaced by confidence and hope. The townspeople often stopped by to share stories or simply to say hello. Many spoke about how Amina's courage had inspired them. She had become a symbol of strength and kindness. One afternoon, as Amina arranged her crafts in the shop window, Sami came running in with a big smile. "Look, Amina, I made this for you," he said, holding a colorful drawing. Amina hugged him tightly. "Thank you, Sami. It's beautiful." They laughed together, and in that moment, Amina knew that life, even after pain and loss, could still be full of joy. Her past was behind her now. The rejected bride had become a woman with hope, a friend to a little boy, and a light for many. Would you like me to continue with part 5? Time passed, and Amina's life began to change in ways she never expected. The sadness she once felt because of her rejected wedding slowly turned into a quiet strength inside her. She had found a new family in the people around her, and especially in little Sami and his family. Even though she was not his real mother, Sami called her Mom, and that name warmed her heart more than anything else. Every morning, Amina woke up with a new hope. She opened her small shop, where she sold handmade crafts and beautiful decorations. People in the town came often to buy her things and to talk with her. She had become a part of the community, not as the woman who was once left alone on her wedding day. but as a kind and brave person who helped a lost child find his way home. Sammy's family and Amina stayed close. They shared meals, celebrations, and stories. Sammy's mother thanked Amina again and again for what she had done, but Amina always said, "It was Sammy who saved me too." One day, as Amina was working in her shop, Sammy came running in with a big smile. "Amina, look, I drew a picture of us," he said, holding a colorful drawing. Amina took the picture and looked at it carefully. In the drawing, they were holding hands, smiling under a bright sun. There were flowers and birds flying. In the sky, Sammy's name was written in big letters, and next to it, the word Mom was written under Amina's name. Amina's eyes filled with tears of happiness. She hugged Sammy tightly and whispered, "Thank you, Sammy. This means the world to me." Sammy giggled and said, "You're my mom in my heart." Amina smiled and felt a joy she had never thought possible. The town had many stories about Amina and Sammy. People talked about how a rejected bride found new hope by helping a little boy. They said it was a story about kindness, courage, and love that could change lives. Amina also started helping others in need. She volunteered at a local center, offering comfort to women and children who were going through hard times. She shared her own story to give them hope and courage. Her experience had taught her that no matter how dark life may seem, there is always a chance for a new beginning. Her life was not perfect, but it was full of meaning. She had learned that family is not only about blood, but about love, care, and being there for each other. One evening, as the sun set, Amina sat quietly by the window of her shop. She looked at the warm lights of the town and thought about her journey. From pain and loneliness to friendship and hope, her life had changed completely. She whispered softly, "Thank you, Sammy. You helped me find myself again." Just then, Sammy's voice came from outside. "Amina, come outside. I want to show you something." Amina smiled and went outside. Sammy was waiting with his family. They had brought flowers and a small cake. "We want to celebrate you," Sammy said, "because you are our family." Tears of joy filled Amina's eyes. She looked around at the smiling faces and felt a deep peace inside. Her past was behind her. The rejected bride was now a woman full of love and hope. She had learned that sometimes life's hardest moments can lead to the most beautiful new beginnings, and all because a little boy asked a simple question, "Are you my mom? If you want, I can help you with any other story or expand further."